What I'm looking for in the dashboard, to be very clear, I don't want a like dashboard with like too many data points, too many titles. Last team that had built the dashboard actually was very complicated and very crowded, and we actually never used it after the third week.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good pointer. You remember, I mean, you reminded me that when we create any dashboard, it has to be concise. So let me ask you, what what are the main three things or main things you want to see when you open your dashboard?
So
Maybe a couple of items you want to see, or what exactly you want to see when you open a dashboard every
yeah,
day.
so I think the three most important metrics that I would like to track are revenue, like yesterday versus the same day last year, the
Okay.
number of deliveries that are late or are piling up unfinished, and
Okay.
lastly, how many sellers are about to like break up promise to the customer that they will not be able to fulfill the delivery or the contract. So I can track
Okay.
the like those, and I can like preemptively, like our team can manage those in advance or
Okay.
and react in real time.
Okay. So the three metrics you said is possible in Fabric, but
Mhm.
out of those three, I mean, most of them will be displayed into the Power BI page, and it will be fed by a star schema and from the background.
Mhm.
So first measure is revenue, which is current year, I mean, current year versus last year till date. It's simple. It's a kind of a time comparison we can do. The late deliveries counts by order. I mean, that has to be calculated based on current date and when the order date was there, and when was the expected delivery was there.
Yeah.
That also can be calculated. I mean,
And what
it's not an
about
issue,
the
but
third one? If say some seller is not able to fulfill the order, or the if we think they will
yeah.
the contract,
So
how?
so for the third one, I mean, third one is little harder, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
because the info is little unclear on the third one, right? So what do you mean by a promise is break by a seller? Whether it is something, I'll give you three options. Whether it is something
Mm-hmm.
that a seller whose dispatch time has been slipped 3 weeks in a row, or let's say, for example, seller who currently have orders past their shipping deadlines, or there may be sellers whose reviews are trending down. So what metrics you want to build in that third measure?
Oh, well, I think the second one, the where the shipping deadline, the orders are past the shipping deadline, that one would make
Okay.
the most sense
Okay.
to track, or would be the most valuable.
Okay. So in that particular case, I would say that the three matrices are clear, right? So
Mm.
revenue versus last year, then late delivery currently overdue, and
Yes.
seller who's past shipping deadline, right?
Yes.
Now, uh, there are other things I I may ask is, uh, how frequent or how often do you want this number to be refreshed?
How about like can we have it like updated every hour, so that we get real time updates?
Uh, but okay, we can do it every hour,
Mm-hmm.
but just thinking on the cost perspective, I would like to know that this particular dashboard, how many times you are going to use every day.
Maybe a few times, twice a day, like maybe in the morning when we start our day, maybe by the end of the day when we are closing our business, like our working
Okay,
hour, maybe we review it in that cadence,
okay,
almost
okay,
in most like usual working day.
okay. So in that particular case, 1 hour refresh is the waste of your compute resource, right?
Okay.
So what I would recommend is instead of 24 refresh, we'll have just 3 refresh every day, and we can save the cost of the compute at least 8 times, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
just think Fabric builds it by capacity unit, and the time you use it when it is on, and whenever it is on and we are using it, it will charge you. So if you're
Okay.
not using that frequent, I would recommend that let us have 3 time refresh a day.
Got it. Okay. So then fine, three refreshes. So we're talking about the cost. So if like my CFO, my leadership asked me about the costs, what would be the number or what would be the estimate?
Okay. Uh, I have seen your data, sample data,
Okay.
and I've seen that those are around 100K orders every day, right? Grown over the 500,000 maybe in a year. So we can start initially with the smaller fabric capacity right now, and it would roughly cost you around, let's say, 300 to 400 uh, dollars per month, okay,
Okay.
for the platform itself. And plus, if you're not going at F64 capacity, we have to buy the Power BI Pro licenses so that each user can utilize. So let's say, for example, if you have 10 users, you have to just take 10 Power BI licenses. That's it. So the Power BI licenses cost around $9 to $10 per month per user.
Got it. Okay. So I was actually that sounds pretty reasonable. I think I was expecting a much bigger number, of like a five-figure number. So that's probably not that expensive. That's actually good.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, what happens is when we use the fabric, we can tweak the capacity and we can utilize it more frequently. So it will help us in the longer run.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the insight. That's from a cost perspective. I think that sounds really good. How long does it take to build? Or how long will it take to implement?
Yeah, I think depending upon right now we have got the data sets. So
Mm-hmm.
what I would think is it will take around 5 to 6 weeks for a working production platform, because we need to understand the data, we need to analyze it, we need to map it. And let's say, for example, if you come up with a different dashboards, we can create on top of it, right? Couple of few dashboard I would recommend you to just think, maybe not today, maybe day after tomorrow when we meet again, you can just come
Mm-hmm.
up with what other things you want from that.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so moving on. So I also wanted to have a like a understanding on like how we could actually like make sure that the reporting and the numbers are correct. Like last time we had this issue where the dashboard that we had, the numbers were not lining up with, say, another team, like the finance team's number, and that started creating a lot of confusion. So then, like whatever numbers we had on our reporting, we kind of lost its credibility. So how can we like manage that situation or in this on this dashboard on this process?
In honestly, I mean, we cannot avoid it, the data discrepancy. But what I would recommend is whenever we get any data discrepancy, we can show those number on the dashboard so that your different department team can analyze where exactly it is missing,
Okay.
right? So for example, let's say out of 33K products I have gone through, I have find that 600, approximate 600 products does not have a category map. So it is a kind of 1.8% of your product data, which is not having the category in place. So in if you are doing it by category analytics or category analyzation, what we can do is we can just categorize it as a differently. Or if let's say for example, if your top category dashboard quietly ignore them, your undercount somewhere between 0.5% or 2% in total,
Okay.
right?
So
So
then, what would other companies do in this situation? Do you have any experience? Like, how would you go about it?
yeah, so in that particular case, there are multiple things we can do. Is as I said you earlier, right? We can categorize it into an uncategorized category, or we have also done as unknown because uncategorized seems to be unfamiliar. Or
Mm.
what by the dimension we can do is unknown as a keyword by default for every type of dimensional values. Like it can be product, it can be customer, it can be seller, it can be a category, right? So we can categorize it as a, either uncategorized or unknown, so that it will appear in your visuals, whatever we are going to display. And what we can do is other thing is we can go back to the seller and tell them that categorization is required going forward so that we can calculate it accurately on our dashboard. And the third long term is but does not help to ship right now, right?
Mm.
So what which option would you think?
Well, then, I guess for the reporting purposes, we can go with that uncategorized option to like tag those products or those uncategorized this thing so that we know what is the business volume from those. I guess longer term we could work with the seller to fix the data, the source, so that they actually give us a um, give us the right SKUs and the right tags for us to like fix this at the source. But for now, I think that just having it tagged as uncategorized will help uh, the most.
Got it. Got it. I think the principle is bigger than one issue, right? Every
Mhm.
data will have some of the other problem, whether it can be flagged, whether it can be surprise, right? So
Yeah.
what we can do is if we drop them silently, then the number will be having a questions, right? So if we don't drop them and if we utilize it into a display as an unknown thing, then we may look into it in detail and analyze it later on.
Mhm.